Hi everyone, I'm Robin, or A Hobbit's Reading This, and welcome to my vlog. We are going to be really trying to power through some books because it is officially over halfway through the month and I have only read 3 books out of the 9 I need to read. So let's go ahead and get right in. Okay, so last night, again, I got really tired, like around the afternoon, and really distracted. Like, I could not concentrate yesterday. So I did end up reading about, I think, 11% more of Mike and Psmith. So for people who don't remember or don't know, Mike and Psmith is the second half of the book Mike by P.G. Wodehouse. The first half contained Mike at Riken, which I read in March? Yeah. So now I'm reading the second half of it. So I read 11% last night. I read about 10% the day before, so I'm almost halfway done with the story. It's pretty good. There was a cricket chapter, but it wasn't too... I mean, it was an entire chapter devoted to cricket, so I didn't understand a lot of what's going on. But it wasn't as bad as some of the ones in Mike at Riken, because it wasn't like a play-by-play. It was more of a summary. I still could have done without it, but it was fine. But I don't know if I like Psmith, which sort of sucks because, like, this is the introduction of that character, and there are, I think, 3 more stories with Mike and Psmith together in them, and, like, I know the ones in the future, Mike becomes more of, like, a supporting role, and then more of a supporting role, and then he's, like, essentially just, like, kind of there in the last one, and so Psmith is becoming more prominent. So I don't know. Right now, he just seems very, like, manipulative and kind of, like, smarmy. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to try... I have a really busy day at work today, so I'm going to try to read on my breaks, because I'm hoping, since it's my phone, I can get past the whole, like, I need to read a chapter at a time thing, like I usually do with books. Since it's on my phone, I don't know. I'm just hoping I can do that, because I really need to start making more progress. I want to finish Mike and Psmith tomorrow, so that way I can switch over to the physical copy of Something Wicked This Way Comes, finish that, hopefully with more of, like, a fair shot, because the audiobook clearly isn't working for me. I will still listen to the audiobook until I finish Mike and Psmith. Once I finish Something Wicked This Way Comes, or once I switch over, I will start listening to a different audiobook from my list. It'll probably be either The Maid's Diary or Nick and Charlie. I think those are the only 2 on my list that have audiobooks still. So hopefully this week, maybe we can finish, like, 3 books. Last week we finished 2, which is good. Let's aim for 3 this week. But that's just a quick little update. Like I said, like, I only read 11% last night. But, yeah, so I need to edit the video for today, get that posted. That's the thing that sucks. Like, I'm trying to be more aware of, like, what my body is telling me. And besides being tired, my body, like, once evening hits, I'm kind of done. So that really sucks, because I tend to stay up till, like, midnight most days. I wake up at, like, 7:30, but, like, evening's a whole chunk of time where my body just sort of shuts down, and I'm like, oh, but I could be doing things. I can still read in the evenings, but things like editing, writing, dishes, cooking. I told my husband last night that, like, I'm just gonna have to start cooking in the afternoons, because like I was supposed to cook dinner last night and I was just too tired to do it. So we ended up getting Taco Bell. So me trying to get healthier is not working because my tiredness won't let me cook. So that's just a little fun little insight into my brain, where I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do as much as I can in the mornings and afternoons, and then I just will do nothing in the evenings, apparently. I'm gonna see how that works for me. So that's my new goal this week. The only thing I'll do in the evenings is read. So yeah, that's a plan. So like, let's go ahead and do stuff. Okay, so couple things. I need to get my life on track. My ADD is all over the place. I've not filmed since Monday, I think. To be fair, I also haven't read that much since Monday. I think I've read, I don't remember the last time I quite honestly filmed. Okay, so I'm about halfway through Mike and Psmith, and I'm not going to go into a whole thing because I honestly don't remember what I've spoken about on this vlog yet. I feel like I've already talked about the 5 chapters I read Monday night. I've only read 1 chapter since then. I am enjoying it more than Mike at Riken, which I don't think is saying a lot, because the reason I am enjoying it is because there's less cricket. I still like Mike as a character. However, I think I did talk about this. I don't think I'm a huge fan of Psmith. He comes off as very, like, I don't think pretentious is the right word. He's very, like, cocky. Yeah. He acts like he knows that he's smarter than everyone. And he's also very manipulative, which is not my favorite thing. So, so there's that. I've listened to about maybe 2 more hours of Something Wicked This Way Comes. It is getting more exciting. However, like, so Tuesday I listened to about an hour and a half, my entire drive to work, which is the first time I've done that with this book. But yesterday I only listened to like 37 minutes. So it's not the best. And it sucks too, because like, it was a really important chapter and it was really exciting, and it was still putting me to sleep, which makes me think that something else is going on, and it's not the book. I think it's a combination of like some health stuff that I'm going through and the narrator's voice, which I know I talked about before, so I'm not going to go into it. But so that's one of my thinking. So my plan is to finish Mike and Psmith as soon as possible. Probably not tonight. I have a lot of crap I have to do. Like, I have not checked off hardly anything off my to-do list. But I will finish it by Saturday, because my dad and I are going to record that episode of the podcast, so I need to have it done. If I keep on track of like what I've planned out for myself, I should finish all my books by the end of the month. However, my track record for finishing books when I say that I'm going to is not great. So there's that. But today I went book shopping. You'll have seen the little clips. I also met someone that I met on Bookstagram, and we live near each other. So we finally met up after like 6 or 7 months of me like stalking her Bookstagram. So I also know she watches the vlogs. I had a really good time. It was a lot of fun. We talked for like 2 hours while we were book shopping, and she has more self-control than I do. She bought 1 book, I bought 5, which is typical for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through the books that I bought. I picked up Neon Gods by Katie Robert because it was recommended by a couple friends of mine, and I'm a little nervous because I've seen mixed reviews from some booktubers that I really respect their opinions. So I've seen, I'm a little nervous, But my friends really enjoyed it, and it's something that we can all talk about together. And after meeting with my Bookstagram friend, who I'm not sure if she wants her name said, so I'm not going to say it. But after talking with her and being able to talk about books, even though we don't have a lot of crossover, but like just being able to talk about books with someone was so nice. So I'm like, okay, a couple of my friends like really like this book, so I will read it so that I can participate in conversations. It's pretty much a Hades and Persephone retelling, I believe. So it's, how to describe it. It's set in, I believe, modern times. There's no like magic or anything, and it's more, it's like a darker romance, I believe. But it's part of a series, and I know each book follows a different like couple from like Greek mythology, but it's not really Greek or anything. I think the premise is somewhat similar to like Lore Olympus, but like I said, without magic. So I also got Johnny Panic and the Bible of Dreams by Sylvia Plath. I love Sylvia Plath like crazy, and I've never heard of this book, so when I saw it at the bookstore, I literally gasped. And my friend was like, but it's short stories, excerpts from her diary, and so I glanced through it, and I'm not surprised that I love it. I love Sylvia Plath's writing style, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I also got Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel by R.H. Sin. So this is a volume of poetry. So this is the third volume. There are two other Whiskey, Words, and a Shovel that come before it, but with poetry, I don't read a ton of poetry. I'm sure that's obvious by the fact that the entire time that I've had a booktube, I've not read poetry. So it's not something I read a ton of, but when I'm in the mood, I will, obviously. But typically when I'm buying it, I read the first poem in the book, and if it resonates with me, if I really like it, then I will probably end up getting it. And so I read the other two volumes. I read the poems in those ones, and they didn't speak to me as much as this one. Plus, I like this cover like a lot more than the other ones. So I'm really interested. I think they're all about love. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. But they're all like, they're very simple. Like so I think I'm gonna really like it. Plus, I think that books that are deceptively big are my favorite, because like I'll blow through this in like, if I wanted to, like probably like 2 hours, if that. But I think poems should be something that like you read over time, not necessarily like super consecutively. I also got a journal called Don't Bother, I Like Myself the Way I Am, which is a mindlessness journal. And my friend and I thought it was hilarious. And we were sort of talking about doing like a content idea. And I don't know if she was serious, but if she is, I'm down, because I think it's really funny. But yeah, I thought this was really cool. So, you know, I have no impulse control when it comes to books and book-shaped things. So I will probably give this a shot. I had a different guided journal called I Am Fucking Radiant, which is a self-confidence building journal. But I don't know. Stuff like that I have to be in the right mood for, and apparently I haven't been in the mood for liking myself for a while. So maybe being mindless will be a better attempt. And then finally, I got Sandman Book 1, because I, have the second one and it's signed, but I need the matching one. This one is huge, by the way. So Barnes & Noble had all four, which I could not buy all four because they're $30 a piece, and my husband would kill me. But I could see, them all next to each other. This is literally double the size of the book 2 that I got when I was in New York, and that is signed. This one is not signed, I believe. I didn't really look. It's not signed. That's fine. But yeah, I'm excited to read this, and also excited that because I now have 2, I just need 2 more, and then I'll have all the Sandman comics. Because I don't really want to like do a reread of them until I have all of them, but knowing myself, I will probably end up rereading them anyway. So those are the books I got. Yay. I always love a day where I buy lots of books that I shouldn't. That I will get to eventually at some unknown time. Because why buy books when you know when you're going to read them? That just seems silly. All right, I have to go write because I need to do that. And then I need to figure out how to get my life together because I have, like, today was a day, I don't know if you can tell because I'm like very hyper right now, but like today is a day that like I'm feeling really motivated. I have a lot of ideas. I'm feeling very creative. And of course, that means I have no time to do any of it, which is great. Love that for me. So let's see what I can accomplish. So it's Saturday. I was supposed to be very busy yesterday, and I ended up not being busy at all. And I don't even remember the last thing I filmed. The last thing I filmed was after I met with my friend from Bookstagram on Thursday. I filmed a book haul, and then I filmed a little clip of me in my car yesterday, because yawning because I was tired. And I had listened to another like hour of, why are you wet? I'm petting Reese, and sometimes he's just like randomly wet. I'm convinced he doesn't know how to drink water properly. So I'm almost done with Something Wicked This Way Comes. That's what I was going to say. I listened to an hour after I filmed that clip. I listened to about another 2 hours because I went to Temple last night, so that might have spent about a total of like 3 hours in my car. I have 30 minutes left. I will probably just go ahead and finish it today so that way tomorrow when I'm going to work, I can listen to Nick and Charlie, and then that'll be done because that's only about 2 hours. So I finished reading Mike and Psmith, which means that I will be recording a podcast today. And I still haven't finished editing the last podcast. It's halfway done. So that's what I'll probably be doing today, because even though it's a Saturday and that's the day off that I have with Chris, he has COVID and I do not. And so we're quarantining away from each other, which sucks. But I guess that means I can get a lot of stuff done. Yay. I also didn't sleep well last night because he wasn't feeling well, and there's another cat in the room that I didn't know. I didn't know she was there. Maybe I'll show you after I'm done if she's still there. But I just looked over. I'm like, oh, there's a cat. So Chris didn't sleep well last night because he was freaking out because he was feeling sick, and he didn't know if it was COVID or not. And so he DoorDashed a test from Walgreens at like 3 a.m, I think. Poor delivery guy. But he confirmed that he got COVID. So I took the other test this morning. I do not. But like I said, I'm all sorts of rambly today. That's great. I finished Mike. It was fine. It's sort of on the same level as Mike and Riken. It also got 3.5, and I don't know if I said that after I finished reading Mike at Riken. I looked on my cop pile, and for some reason Mike at Riken wasn't on the list. So I don't know if, because I was reading it in a book that has both of them together, and so I don't know if my logic was like, well, I'm not going to put Mike at Riken because I'll just do both at the same time. Stop. No. The two cats in this room don't like each other, and they will probably get into a fight. So, but I know Mike at Riken got like a 3.5, and Mike and Psmith got a 3.5. So it's whatever. For different reasons. There wasn't as much cricket, although the last chapter was primarily cricket, and that was annoying. But there wasn't nearly as much. My main issue is that, I don't think I like Psmith as a character. And I recognize that, most people have not read a lot of Wodehouse, have not read a lot of Mike and Psmith. So Mike and Psmith is about a guy named Michael Jackson. That's his name. It was written in 1909, so, no relation there. But his name is Mike Jackson, and he plays cricket, and he went to a school called Riken, but in the second half of the book, he is taken out of Riken by his father because his grades are so bad, and he gets sent to, I think it's called Sedley, and he resolves to just be a complete wet blanket. He's not going to play cricket anymore in protest because he misses being at Riken, which is fine. And his very first day, he meets Psmith. I don't remember Smith's first name, but he's so determined to be so original and different that his name is Psmith. But he puts a silent P at the beginning of it just to be different. And that bothers me. And Psmith is generally sort of a character that just like, and he's just not my vibe. I tend to not like characters like that. And he doesn't really change. Like I guess he has some growth towards like the end of the book where he tries to help Mike out. And they're friends. Like they're friends. Mike thinks that Smith is his best friend. And Smith does help Mike, which is like good. But it's also just like he's still just I don't know the right word that like if I ever get monetized, we'll get this video demonetized. Can I say ponce? I feel like ponce is a good word that I should be able to say. But yeah, he's annoying, quite honestly. And I know that I have at least 3 more books with him, which I'm not looking forward to because he's going to get more and more prominent as the books go on. So I'm like, great. But that's sort of how I feel about Mike and Smith. When Smith wasn't in the chapters and it was just Mike going about his day and like dealing with drama and adventure and stuff, like I really enjoyed it. I just don't like Smith. So, but yeah, so that's about it. And then I'm going to call my dad. We're going to start recording the podcast and I will edit the other podcast. And then I will probably... Look, I know I should start reading The Maid's Diary because it's for the family book club. It's on my TBR. And the book club meeting is Thursday. I know I should read that next. I just really don't want to. Like, the way I look at it, Mike and Smith was like, okay. The way it's shaking out, something wicked this way comes is going to be okay. Nick and Charlie, I'm sure I will enjoy, but I'm not listening to it till tomorrow. And I kind of just want a palate cleanser of a book that I think I will actually enjoy. So I think what I might do is pick up Soul Eater, read that, and then probably finish it by like Tuesday. And then I'll start reading The Maid's Diary. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And that's probably what I'll end up doing. Because I can't read 3 okay and or possibly just, in case of The Maid's Diary, bad books in a row. I can't let myself do that. And if I'm pleasantly surprised by The Maid's Diary and end up actually liking it, which I don't think is going to happen, but if it does, then great. I'll end my month on a high note. But I just can't read 3 books at once or in a row. I can't do that. So that's the plan. And I'll check in with you later to tell you if that's what actually happens. Okay. Once again, I've not filmed that much B-roll. I've had a lot going on. Trying to think. Since filming yesterday, recorded a podcast episode. I went to the ER with Chris last night. That was fun. He's totally fine. But he had a fever of 103, and we were kind of freaking out because that's pretty high. the doctor was dismissive and pretty much said that, like, we shouldn't have come and we're stupid for doing so. Like, we didn't know what else to do, you know? He has COVID, he has a fever of 103. We just wanted a medical professional to tell us that he was going to be okay, and yeah. So, I finished Something Wicked This Way Comes this morning on my way to work. When I put it through Compile, I try to let my opinions on the narration for the audiobook, try to put that on the back burner and just focus on what I would have read, essentially. And I ended up giving it 3 stars. I know my dad's gonna be, like, upset about that. I didn't like one of the main characters that much. Even with the narration off the table, I still didn't really like Will as a character. I thought he was annoying. I thought that for a 14-year-old, he was very immature. And not like immature like a 14-year-old would be. Like, he acted like he was 6. He was just whiny. Like, I get that he's a kid, but he was whiny. So there was that, and felt like some of the logic bugged me. I don't know. Maybe it's just going over my head. Maybe I don't get it. But I felt like how it was resolved was a little like, okay. I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't jive with me. So I gave it a 3 star. I will probably read another Bradbury because I know I liked Fahrenheit 451, although I did read it like over 15 years ago. So I don't know if that's necessarily fair to say. And this was fine. Like, this was fine. It's not a bad book. It just wasn't to my taste. And that's okay. That's fine. But I did start Nick and Charlie. The audiobook is only 2 hours, so I'm halfway done already. And quite honestly, like, I will probably just read the rest of it tonight. And then tomorrow start... I know I should read The Maid's Diary first. I don't want to. Tomorrow I'll start another book. Who knows what it'll be, really? If I don't start The Maid's Diary by Tuesday, I'll probably just go ahead and start it regardless, so whatever. But that's the plan. I have a lot of, like, content planning that I would like to do because I just want to get my life in order. But yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good about reading this month. It looks like I will be finishing my TBR. There's no reason I shouldn't. I have 2 books left. I do need to prep for book club tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and pause. I'm not going to end the vlog yet because I really think that I will end up finishing Nick and Charlie tonight. So I'm going to pause you for about 4 hours. And you'll see me again. And I'll let you know if I finish a book or if I didn't do anything. Okay, I'm back. I finished reading Nick and Charlie. So, I gave it a 4.5. I thought it was really cute. I love Nick and Charlie. I love Heartstopper, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I thought it was really cute. I thought that it was really real, how, you know, high school sweethearts, essentially, like, I know they're English, so they don't have, like, high school, but how that situation would sort of play out with Nick being a year older than Charlie and going to university in the fall, like, how they would deal with those emotions, which is not well. They wouldn't deal with those well. So, but I still thought it was really cute. I thought it was really well done. And yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I have, I think, the whole Heartstopper. I don't have any of the other novellas that aren't centered around, well, novellas or novels that aren't centered around Nick or Charlie. I am missing one. I think it's This Winter. I think that's what it's called. I'm missing that one. But other than that, I have all of the Heartstopper series. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this vlog up. Siri told me to read, which is good, except she picked The Maid's Diary. So I guess I'll go ahead and get that over with, and then once I'm finished it, that means I will end the month on a good note, because after The Maid's Diary, I have 2 books left for my April TBR, which is Soul Eater, as well as Mooncakes. And Mooncakes should not take me long. It's a graphic novel. I'll knock that out in like an hour or so. But that means I should end the month on a high note. So thank you for coming along with me. Like the video, comment if you want to talk about books at any time. I'm always willing to engage, especially about any of the books I talked about in this video or other books. Recommend me other books. I don't care. I will add them to my list. Subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my May TBR, which will be up on May 1st. So definitely check that one out.